In the holy month of Ramzan, even as people in Pakistan are struggling to cope with the ever-increasing inflation and skyrocketing costs of basic necessities, what worries them most is the dearth of food supply. Even for their staple food, they have to wait for hours on end. Believe it, several stampedes have occurred at food distribution sites in Pakistan. In Karachi, 12 people, including women and children, died recently as they tried to get their hands on sacks of free wheat flour. At the distribution points where wheat flour was being given away, wheat flour has become so expensive that for many people, queuing up at distribution points is the only way to get this most essential dietary staple. Similar stampedes have happened throughout the nation during the current fasting month, including in Peshawar. That is again at food distribution sites. To quell hunger pangs, what other options do people have? Sometimes they even don't mind risking their lives to ensure that their family members are not left to starve. The statistics keep telling a depressing tale. The Consumer Price Index indicates that the price of commodities rose 35% from a year earlier in March, which is the highest level since 1965. Moreover, a 50% increase in transportation costs was recorded. The ongoing crisis between Pakistan and the International Monetary Fund is the crux of the chaos. There is an urgent need for the Monetary Fund to release a USD 1 billion tranche to Pakistan. Without this sum, Pakistan might go into default, which would push the nation into worse conditions. It is notable that the majority of the dead in stampedes have been women. It is the women who naturally are in the forefront to contend with the hunger of their children. Adding to this woe is the cooking gas crisis. In the month of Ramzan, hunger and thirst during the day are part of a period of refocusing on the spiritual through the hardship of foregoing sustenance. Imagine then the acute pain and suffering of an endless fast where the absence of food means that the fast is perpetual, the hunger is constant. Dawn reports. They say that there is nothing more painful than the crushing agony of hunger cramps. It is their grueling endurance that sent many mothers in the recent Karachi stampede to their death. Mothers who died rather than face the disappointed eyes of their hungry children. Mothers would rather die than disappoint their children. Offering food is a common act during Ramzan. Business owners, factory operators, and other people with money always organize the distribution of rations during this holy month. But there has always been an element of dehumanization and arrogance in these moments, as the benevolent, wealthy are seen passing boxes or bags to the assembled poor, according to Dawn. Among the hungry, there are not only people who are desperate and extremely poor, but also ones from educated and middle-class families. Among them, there are also people who had jobs in textile mills or other workplaces that have shut down because the owners cannot import the materials needed. These people who have suddenly become poor can no longer afford the sacks of flour that cost more than rupees 1,000 for a 10 kg bag. News of the closure of even more factories means that the queues will get even longer this month. It is impossible not to inquire whether this will ever end. Surely more needs to be done. The amount of food being distributed at these sites should be increased so that everyone gathered is able to get something. This should hold true in the case of government distribution sites as well. Governments, which are generally bad at managing any crisis of this sort, can seek the help of private charity groups that are generally more efficient and can make distribution more orderly. Those who intend to hand out food must make sure they have sufficient supplies to meet the increased demand and must limit the number of people who are allowed to queue up. With foresight and a sincere awareness of the great need that so many people are experiencing during Ramzan, catastrophes like the ones that claimed so many lives last week can be prevented, suggests Dawn.